Hi, good. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Want to thank you for sticking with me through the holiday season. It's been quite hectic for me. That's why I haven't been posting anything for a while. This is the part where I want to talk about my guitar rig. I want to talk about the way I do guitars as opposed to what you saw before is the synthesizer stuff. So these are my two main guitars. This is the Ibanez Artist. Those of you that know me have probably seen this. And then I have another one in here, which I will take out and show you later. That is what I call Old Blue, and that's the bluish guitar. For those of you that have been to St. Clements and seen me play there, you know how that one goes. But really, what I want to talk about are the effects. Because for me, the effects pedals are what are most important, but not crucial. Um, for a while, I just had this little thing here, and what this is called is a PS3 digital delay and pitch shifter, and uh, Victor and Chris will know that these are very rare and very valuable as they are no longer produced. So I had this and I had this Marshall amp uh, in my apartment. Now, as you can imagine, a Marshall amp and digital delay in an apartment probably don't work too well because it's going to be loud and it's going to be intrusive to the neighbors and stuff. And it's also going to be hard to record. I first started into the foray of recording back in 2005 or 6, and I found it to be very difficult to record guitars as I was miking and running it the amp and running it direct, kind of Mickey Mousing it in my computer, which leads me to this little device, and I had read about these things. This is a Behringer. I believe it's a it's a Behringer digital mixer. So what this does is that it has this input right here, and it's got these little RCA jacks, and this is the main input. Now this lovely little input right here is a two-way input. I can plug both a microphone, which is an XLR. If I want to run a microphone in there, I can, or I can run a 1/4 inch, which is running directly out from my effects into there. As this is wired into my computer over here, and when I record, it records directly in there. Pretty neat. It also works great as a live mixer because I can wire it live into my large lean amplifier and kind of play with backing tracks along with the I can play along with my computer and do it live too and sound like a full band. Now, at the same time I bought this mixer, I bought this lovely little device. And what I had for a while, thanks to Rick Milliron, was a larger version of this. This is a Vox Stomp Lab. What Rick Milliron had loaned me was a Tone Lab, and it's a much bigger version of this. This is actually quite small, but this is a multi-effects pedal, and it's got all these different effects in it, and you dial them in here, and it's got like different rock effects, blues, jazz, heavy metal, and then over here, which I use most, are the user effects. I use all these other basic effects as templates to try just to kind of be able to model all the effects that I want. And it's got EQs and what's called amplifier modeling, which means that it will simulate the effect of a microphone placed against an amplifier, which means that I can run this direct and still make it sound like it's been mic'd, which is really, really nice. It doesn't sound so tinny or so canned. It's got flangers, it's got delays, it's got choruses, it's got compression, and it's got wah. So this thing, let me show you how small this is. This is my foot compared to the size of this, and normally an expression pedal is a little bit bigger than that. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's a great little effects thing. It's got the main thing I bought, the reason why I bought this is it's got an effect called Univibe, which is a very interesting chorusy sound that I use for one of my songs, written for In Remembrance. So these are the user things, are things that you can program. These are sounds and stuff that I can program. So I have my basic bank, and it's capital U 0 through 9, and then small case U 0 through 9. So this one, to start out with, is one that I had come up with, which is a nice, clean, shimmery chorus effect, and I'll play that for you now. And then the next one, as I start dialing through it, I'm going to turn this down because this is a pretty heavy lead distortion with a lot of mid-range taken out. So it's got this heavy punch, but it's not really good for a rhythm. It's mostly better for a lead. And I'll play that for you now. This is the Univibe sound that I use, and you'll recognize this from, if you know my music, it's from In Remembrance. It's probably my favorite bit from the stuff that I wrote for my mom. This here, so this little pedal here can act as a volume. It's really what's called an expression pedal. And so this pedal can act as a volume, it can act as a wah, it can act as a to change tones, it can act to pitch shifting and stuff like that. So this is my wah sound. This is my clean wah sound. This is I know my friend Chris will recognize it. This is what I call the River Bricks. It's kind of a punchy, clean delay sound with some flange, and I like using this too. This is my heavy wah pedal sound. This is the distortion wah pedal sound. So again, you just use that, and it's like having all these effects in one place. I don't have to go and buy all these different little things like that. Although that comes in very handy as an extra delay when I really want to layer delays and do live looping and stuff like that. That comes in really handy. The next is it's a very interesting sound, as it when I have it rocked all the way towards me on that expression pedal, it's a clean sound. But if I push it all the way down, it's a really pretty heavy distortion sound. So the next two are pretty much the main sounds that I use when I record and play. This is my main distortion sound. And this is my main clean sound. This is also another really heavy compressed distortion sound. This is a delayed clean sound used for kind of what I call padding when I want to, and I use this mainly at church when I want to add kind of an organ or not just a guitar playing effect, but just a more swelling effect. This is another lead distortion line that I have. This is heavily compressed, and it's got some delay on it. This next one is a heavy Univibe sound, and the main song that I use this on is All That Matters M3. Now these next two are some of my favorite clean sounds, and these are my live sounds. When I play at St. Clement's, I can't use the other ones because they will just blow the PA system through the roof. So these next couple of sounds are mainly for live, so I have the volume set kind of low on this, so that way it's not too overpowering through the live system. And this is a really, really just basic clean sound. This is the same clean sound, but with a little bit of chorus. And then this is a little bit of, this is a heavy gain sound, but I also, when I'm playing at church, I want to kind of keep it cool because I don't want to blow anyone's head off with like the U2 distortion that I just showed you. This is another kind of rough gain sound that I mostly use for Rush songs. And it's not as heavy as the other distortion sounds that I have. It's kind of a dirty, what I would call a dirty tone. This is what the pedal itself calls an acoustic sound, and it doesn't hurt to have it in case I need a very clean sound. I don't think it sounds too much like an acoustic, but it's close enough to fake it. Here's another wonderful dirty tone that I'd kind of dialed in. It's distorted, but it's not gonna shred the paint off the walls kind of distortion. It's just kind of a dirty tone, and it's heavily chorused. The clean sound. Now I want to get to this because this is the coolest one. This is my favorite effect that I've got. So it's got several different sounds, and it's interesting. It's a delay pedal and a pitch shifting pedal. So I can do various harmonies if I want. It's not that easy to kind of dial it in and have it stay in key, but really I mainly use it for the delay. And it can go from a quick slapback delay to all the way to like a 3-second delay. So this is a wonderful delay pedal, and it just comes in handy if I need just a little extra kick, little oomph, I just dial this guy to 11, and it works. And I'll give you a little example of it right now. This is I'll play a quick delay for you. And then let me play a longer delay for you. So anyway, when I want to record guitar lines, I can play it. And let me bring up Reaper. I have my media player up. What I do is it's just the same as a recording studio. You kind of set the track to record, and then you record under it. And of course, Reaper's, since I haven't bought this program, it's going to tell me, it's going to remind me to buy it, which I will someday, I promise you, Reaper. This little button here tells you, hey, I want to set this to record, and you notice it'll go a little red. So I can kind of record tracks over, and I can redub, and I can have a lot of guitar tracks if I want. So modern day recording is pretty cool. I no longer have to go to a studio and sit in a large control booth or in a large room and record stuff and do it at $300 an hour. I can just do it in my room here. Sorry, it's such a mess. I can do it in my room here and do it at my leisure, which is I'm very fortunate that I get to do that. I'm still working on the Lifehouse experiment, and so I'll come back later and kind of guide you through the guitar tracks that I'm starting to visualize and picture for it. So I will see you soon.